In Arabic, verbs follow a pretty structured pattern. Take the verb to write, كتب, and across its different forms, it stays recognizable. اكتب, كتب, يكتب. But some verbs completely go astray from that. Take the verb to say, قال, and its different forms, قل, قيل, يقول. Each form looks vastly different from the other. And if you don't know why, that can be really frustrating. But once you understand the reason behind it, you can actually predict how these verbs will behave, and that changes everything. Welcome back to Arabic with Amina, your online Arabic teacher. In this video, we're going to be covering weak letters and irregular verbs, what they are, how verbs are categorized because of them, and the general rules that will help you make sense of them. The reason some verbs behave so differently comes down to 3 letters. Alif, waw, ya. Collectively known as حروف العلة, which translates to weak or sick letters. These are also the long vowels in Arabic. And if any one of them appears in the root of a verb, it can cause that verb to change shape, depending on the tense or grammatical case, which is exactly where they get their name from. They're weak because they're unstable and sensitive to their environment. There's one important distinction worth knowing before we go further. There's a difference between the letter alif and alif with a hamza. They are not equal. The hamza is a strong letter, not a weak one. So, for example, the verb to flow, sal, uses alif. And this is a weak verb because the middle letter is a weak alif. Whereas the verb to ask, sa'ala, is not a weak verb because it has a hamza letter and not an alif. So the weak verb here is sal and not sa'ala. This distinction matters when you're identifying verb types. Because of حروف العلة, Arabic verbs are divided into 2 categories. We have sound verbs, الفعل الصحيح, and weak verbs, الفعل المعتل. الفعل الصحيح. A sound verb is one whose root does not contain any of the 3 weak letters. That means it does not have alif, waw, or ya in its base form of the verb. An example is the verb كتب, to write. If we dissect the verb and see all of its letters, kaf, ta, ba, none of these letters are weak. There's no alif, no waw, and no ya. So the verb changes minimally and predictably across different forms, tenses, and grammatical cases. Whereas, on the other hand, weak verbs, or al-fi'l al-mu'tal, is the complete opposite. Its root contains at least 1 weak letter. Let's take the verb nam, to sleep. The letters of this verb base is nun, alif, mim. The middle letter is alif, which is a weak letter, one of the حروف العلة. That's what makes it irregular. Another example is the verb وعد, to promise. Taking a closer look at its letters, we can see that this one starts with the letter waw, which is one of the weak letters, حروف العلة. So this verb is also an irregular or weak verb. Verbs aren't just divided into sound and weak. we can have the weak or irregular verbs, الفعل المعتل, to be further divided into 4 categories based on where the weak letter appears in the root. We have الفعل الناقص, the deficient verb, الفعل الأجوف, the hollow verb, الفعل المثال, the assimilated verb, and الفعل اللفيف, the mixed verb. This one is even further categorized into mixed separate, اللفيف المفروق, and mixed joined, اللفيف المقرون. We'll start with الفعل المثال, the assimilated verb. The assimilated verb is the first letter of the root of the verb is a weak letter. Here are a few examples. وعد, to promise. وجد, to find. وقف, to stop. Can you spot what they all have in common? They all start with a weak letter. In this case, all of them start with the letter waw. The assimilated verb will almost always start with either a waw or a ya. Starting with a ya is very rare. So in practice, when you see this category, the assimilated verb, it's almost always going to be a letter waw at the beginning. Moving on to الفعل الأجوف, the hollow verb. The hollow verb is one whose middle root letter is weak. Some examples are قال, to say, باع, to sell, نام, to sleep. They all have a defective letter as the second letter in the root. It's called hollow because the middle of the verb is unstable. It often disappears or changes, leaving a kind of gap. The deficient verb, الفعل الناقص. In this type of verb, the final root letter is weak. For example, هدى, to guide, دعا, to call upon or invite, رجا. All of these end with a weak letter. It's called deficient because the end of the verb is never fully stable. It shifts depending on what's attached to it. And finally, the doubly weak verb, or the mixed verb, الفعل اللفيف. This type of verb has 2 weak letters in its root, and it can be split into 2 subtypes. اللفيف المقرون, the mixed joined, and اللفيف المفروق, the mixed separate. Examples of this type of verb are وعى, to be aware, and نوى, to intend. We can see that الفعل اللفيف has 2 weak letters in the root. And to identify the subtypes of this verb, if the 2 weak letters are separated by a sound letter, such as in the first verb وعى, that means this is a mixed separate verb, اللفيف المفروق. The waw is at the beginning, and the ya is at the end, with a sound letter in between. The second subtype, اللفيف المقرون, the joined doubly weak verb, has 2 weak letters right next to each other. نوى. We can see that there is no sound letter separating the 2 weak letters. You might be thinking, okay, great. I know the categories, but what do I actually do with this information? And that's a very valid question. Here's the answer. When a verb contains a weak letter in its root, that letter is sensitive to its environment, meaning it drops, as we can see in قل, moves or swaps depending on the tense, the grammatical case, and what's attached to this verb. Knowing this means that when a verb looks completely unfamiliar, you won't be lost. You know exactly why it changed and where to look for the root. Let's take a look at some general rules. These apply to the majority of weak verbs. There are exceptions, but these patterns will cover a large portion of what you'll encounter. When a verb is in the command form, the imperative, the weak letter is often omitted entirely. Let's look at a few examples. To say in the imperative is قل. وقف, to stop. قف. دعا, to call. ادعو. All three of these verbs are in the imperative, meaning they are commands, which puts them in the jussive or majzoom case. This is a grammatical case. And a verb in the jussive case, which is irregular or weak, will drop the weak letter. You can also notice that in the deficient verb da'a, we added an alif at the beginning when forming the imperative. That's a separate rule for this verb type, but worth noting. Our second rule is that when a verb is negated by the particle lam, it goes into the jussive case, and just like the imperative, the jussive causes the weak letter to drop. Lam is used to negate present tense verbs, but it indicates a past event. So we have the present tense verb يمشي, walking. When we negate it, it becomes لم يمشي. Notice that the weak letter ya is dropped, and a kasra appears in its place on the remaining letter. The matching short vowel is placed where the weak letter used to be. This allows it to be pronounced similarly. We can also look at the verb يقول, saying. Negate it with lam. لم يقل, didn't say. We can see that the letter waw was dropped, and the corresponding short vowel, the dhamma, takes its place. But the point is that the particle lam puts these verbs in the majzoom or jussive case, causing the weak letter to drop. And the particle lam is probably the most commonly encountered jussive particle, but any particle that functions the same way will produce the same result. Our third rule is that the weak letter can change. Sometimes it doesn't drop, it transforms. This is most visible in hollow verbs, where the deficient letter or the weak letter is in the middle. And more commonly notable when moving from the past tense to the present tense. So we have the verb قال, which is the root form, but also the past tense form. And it means to say or said. Putting it in the present tense, it becomes يقول. The alif in the middle of the past tense form changes. Another example would be صام, to fast or fasted. In the present tense, يصوم. باع, يبيع. مال, يميل. You've probably noticed that some of these verbs have transformed into the letter waw, whereas some have transformed into the letter ya. And why so? which letter it transforms to depends on the origin of the alif. And to find that, you look at the related noun form of the verb. For example, قال, the noun is قول. صوم, بيع, ميل. The alif transformed back to its original letter. The more you encounter these verbs, the more the pattern becomes automatic. I cover present tense verbs in more detail in a separate video, which you can check in the corner above. So the 3 general rules for irregular verbs are: the weak letter drops in the imperative when we are giving it as a command. The weak letter is dropped if negated by lam, because it puts it in the jussive case. And the weak letter can change or transform into a waw or ya. So to bring it all together, all of this variation, all of this apparent irregularity comes down to these 3 letters, which are known as حروف العلة: alif, waw, and ya. We covered what they are and how verbs are categorized based on where the weak letter sits in the root. الفعل المثال, الفعل الأجوف, الفعل الناقص, and الفعل اللفيف. And we talked about the 3 general rules that govern how weak letters behave. Drop in the imperative, drop within majzum or jussive case, and if an alif can swap into a different weak letter, depending on the tense. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, share it with someone who's learning Arabic, and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment below if this video was useful. I'd love to hear your feedback. See you next time. Arabic with Amina.